When you go to grocery stores, the one thing you're doing is you're looking for what's the freshest. And so I came here and I didn't have any worry about what was the freshest because it's all fresh.
The one thing I loved about this program was that you pick what you wanted.
For the quality I'm getting, if I went to a store to buy organic food, and I would end up paying a lot more.
We get a great discount through this program. You know that it's fresh.
You have that interaction with everyone here. It's a very comforting feeling.
As soon as you harvest something, it starts losing nutrients. I think one of the biggest joys to me about this whole program is the fact that we can actually provide produce that people would normally think of it being out of their reach.
Hello everyone, I'm Jeremy Chris with the Office of Agriculture in Montgomery County, Maryland, and welcome to Montgomery County, where we're visiting 1 Acre Farm. It's out here in Dickerson and it's owned by Michael Protus, and he works with Charlotte, his farm manager.
Hi, my name is Michael Protus. I am the farmer and owner here at 1 Acre Farm in Dickerson, and this is?
I am Charlotte Henderson and I help manage this farm.
1 Acre Farm started about 12 years ago, literally on 1 acre in Poolsville. When I was looking for land to start my own farm, I put the call out to area landowners to see who would be willing to rent me some land, and I was able to rent 1 acre. From that point, we had grown and expanded over the years, and so now, after 3 years ago, my wife and I finally purchased this plot in Dickerson, and it's 34 acres, but we farm about 6. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation had grants to apply to help us as a small business get through this difficult time. One thing they did was provide us with a grant to retrofit our van to increase the distribution of our vegetables. In 2019, most of our vegetables were not pre-bagged. They were in a grocery store distribution style where families came and picked up their own share on a weekly basis. But because of coronavirus, we had to pre-package all our shares and make double the amount of deliveries in order to ensure that everybody was socially distanced when they had their CSA pickup. CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. In this model of sales, we sell upfront a share of our farm on a weekly basis from June to November. Actually, this year we've expanded to a winter share, so we will be going year-round. But up until this point, we sell weekly from June to November a pre-packaged share for our membership.
And we have also seen, as a result, we think, of the pandemic, that there has been an increased interest in local food. And so this is our biggest CSA year yet.
So we're here in our kale patch, and as a CSA, we grow for about 175 families over the course of the season, as well as have a one farm hospital stand at Shady Grove Adventist Hospital, which Charlotte could talk about a little bit.
Yeah. So we go to either Shady Grove Adventist Hospital or the hospital at White Oak, which is a new location for them, and we give out 200 bags on average per week. Right now we have started up the last 5 weeks of the season, but it's been pretty amazing to see how the hospital workers are so appreciative and they really enjoy getting fresh, local, nutritious vegetables.
And to be clear, the hospital employees do not pay for the service. They get a free bag on a weekly basis. Then it's bi-weekly, I guess, because we go to a different hospital each week. But between the two hospitals, we're there every week on Tuesdays to drop off our 200 bags of produce grown here and elsewhere.
It counts as a employee benefit for them.
At the risk of sounding redundant, because of coronavirus, our business model had to drastically change. For example, we had to charge our members an extra $50 per member to help offset the cost of all the additional things we needed to purchase and people we needed to hire in order to pre-bag all our shares. In the past, like I had mentioned before, everything was a grocery store style, so you picked from a line of produce like Catherine's doing right now. Now, because of coronavirus, to keep social distancing, we do all the packaging in-house. Therefore, we had to spend money on rolling carts, on bins, on tons and tons of bags and biodegradable bags to go into the bags, and on labor to package all these shares. This is just one example of how coronavirus has really kind of changed our business model and how we had to pass that cost on to our customer. There are a lot of organizations that have helped us over the years build and expand our business. Marbidco is one of them.
This summer we applied for a grant, and it was a very generous grant, and we were able to do a lot with it. This is just one part of it. We built this whole extension to the barn. I guess it's an addition, and it, as you can see, it was just spray foam insulated, so it is a year-round working place for us. We will do all of the washing of vegetables in here. It'll also be our office. We can store vegetables, like root vegetables, over the winter time, and this will really make us a more robust and year-round facility.
By building this addition, we've expanded our interior footprint by roughly 30%. This will give us the ability to have a place for people to eat lunch and not in the weather, a place for washing vegetables and packing vegetables in the wintertime, because we'll have this be a conditioned space, as well as keeping vegetables that do not like the extreme hot or the extreme cold to be at a same temperature year-round. Now we're standing in front of our high tunnel, which was purchased in 2020 and paid for by 100% Marbidco grant that helped us also fund our office. The point of this high tunnel is to allow us to grow year-round or further into the season than we normally would have in bare soil. With the protection of the greenhouse plastic, we will be able to keep the temperatures up high to keep our greens cool, or warm I should say, in the wintertime to allow us to expand and grow in the winter share. Our goal is also to invest in a propane heater system to allow us to ensure we don't have a deep freeze that kills all of our produce, but that's currently in the works. Another way we're utilizing the high tunnel is to allow us to cure things like sweet potatoes. We picked about 1,000 feet of sweet potatoes in the last couple weeks, and now we're using the high tunnel as a warm area to heat the sweet potatoes up and cure them for saving over the wintertime to incorporate into our winter share. We also utilize drip irrigation to water our vegetables into the ground and keep them watered, especially since it's a high tunnel, which we have 100% control over heat and irrigation. We use drip to allow the precise amount of water to save as much water as possible and keep the vegetables growing as healthy as possible. So we're standing in front of the Compost Crew's pilot project of a food compost waste recycling program. I had been working with the Compost Crew for about 8 or 9 years or so as they try to figure out how to best take food scraps in the county and bring them somewhere to be turned into compost. Here they have 4 bays that are all aerated, and they're all on timers so that every hour, each pile gets 20 minutes of direct injected air to keep the piles hot. Here we see the blowers that are the backbone of this system. They force air into the piles via these 4-inch PVC pipes. They have 4 valves, so all different, each bay can be on at different times, and as they blow air to it, it keeps the temperature of the pile up to 140, 150 degrees. And then from there, they'll go to a windrow system where they will eventually buy a windrow turner or some other big tool to keep that compost cooking until they can turn into a saleable product to sell back to the customers in Montgomery County and beyond. What's really unique about this pilot is that they're using old shipping containers as the storage facility for their composting process. This is great on a bunch of levels. Number 1, they're reusing something that would otherwise not have a use. Number 2, they are already enclosed in terms of moisture, so they're keeping all the water out. And number 3, they're a lot cheaper than going and building a brand new system with concrete or a clear span building or otherwise. So now we're standing in front of my 8-foot tall, 5,000 linear feet deer fence. For years I had been renting land and put up a plastic mesh deer fence that was effective temporarily, but in the long haul became very ineffective as the deer found holes and gaps to get into it and eat down the lettuce, the sweet potato greens that would make it so you can't grow sweet potatoes, arugula, and so forth. When we bought this place, with the help of Office of Ag and Marbidco, we were able to put in an entire farm perimeter, 34-acre deer fence to help keep the deer out. Anecdotally, I don't have any proof of how much more effective this has been, but in years past, I was never able to grow things like lettuce, sweet potatoes, spinach, any real greens of any kind, because the deer in one night could certainly go through and mow it all down. Now, we have no issues with deer, knock on wood, and we are able to grow kind of anything we want without fear of a deer eating it. We certainly still have problems with groundhogs sometimes, or rabbits, and sometimes even coarse groundhogs. But generally speaking, the deer are our biggest challenge, and with this deer fence, it has become all but eliminated. We're standing in front of one of our larger fields of cover crop. This August, we've had serious issues actually with this field in terms of poor drainage. Since this is only our 3rd year here, I have been over the years learning about which fields drain well, which fields grow well. And so this has become one of my more challenging fields because it just has a different soil type and doesn't drain very well. We had one good day of dry weather that we were able to get in when the soil was finally dry enough, and we spaded it and seeded a clover barley cover crop mix to hopefully overwinter and keep this soil dry as it can be and grow as well as we can be to expand our organic matter so next year we could plant something into it. Another important feature of our cover crop is it protects the soil over the winter during the freeze-thaw cycle as well as snow and rain to prevent soil from leaching out or eroding away into our streams. We actually, behind this field, have a creek that goes right into our irrigation pond that we use to irrigate all our produce in, and we want to keep all the soil on the farm, as opposed to into the creek and into our irrigation water and then downstream to the Potomac River. This cover crop allows that to be more effective.
All right, here we have our fall crop field, and we have some Brussels sprouts, some cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, a lot of different other greens. And in the walking path, you might be able to see that we have clover planted. And clover is a really great cover crop because it fixes nitrogen, so it reduces the amount of nitrogen that we have to apply in the future. We do use blood meal for adding nitrogen to the soil, but that is an application that falls underneath certified naturally grown, which is what our vegetables are. And you can see they're very happy. I also wanted to mention that we work with several different farms for our Moco made boxes that we do seasonally throughout the year. For Thanksgiving, we're offering one, and we're working with several different makers and growers in Montgomery County. We also partner with numerous farms to help supplement the offerings that we give at the Adventist Market. That's Bella Vita Farms and Metro Microgreens. And we also work with Nick's Organic and Plow and Stars Farm to supply our eggs. And one of the great things about working with these different farms is that it really diversifies what we can offer to our members, as well as the larger community. And people are really excited about it because sometimes these products aren't as easily accessible, and it's really nice for them to try different products throughout the year.
As we've talked about a lot of organizations that have helped us grow and expand over the years, it would be important to mention some of the community aspects that have helped really grow my business in the last 2 years. We reached out to our membership to ask us to help offset some of our big ticket costs we incurred in 2020, most notably being solar panels and a brand new tractor. We got tremendous support for our solar panels and was raised a couple $1,000s to help offset the cost of installation, as well as one member in particular lent us the bridge between what we raised and what we owed for both the tractor and the solar panels. With this $80,000 loan payable over 10 years at a very low interest, we were able to really offset our carbon footprint as well as increase our soil footprint by growing and expanding our business well into the 21st century.
Hello again, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the tour with Mike and Charlotte at 1 Acre Farm. We wanted to feature this farm because it really is a good example of all of the different programs that we have and agencies that are designed to assist farmers. And so we wanted to make sure that you see a variety of the technical assistance that's been offered to Mike and Charlotte. And so we hope you enjoyed the day, and thank you very much for attending.